Hello there, it's Ian Flanagan. We're still in Module 2 and making offers they can't refuse. So I want to walk you through some terms offers here and some different ways to structure them, and just to show you how easy it is to structure terms offers and being able to run payments very quickly. So on terms offers, they can vary deal to deal depending on the seller's needs. So one of the things that's important, you need to be able to amortize payments very quickly. And one site that I use quite a bit is Bankrate.com. I also have a mortgage calculator on my iPhone. So when my agent sends me potential buyers and she'll say, hey, I need you to give me a payment on this property with this much down, so I can do it very, very quickly, and it's pretty simple to do. So here's an example of a terms offer. We'll just start right here. So you locate a property that's for sale at $65,000. So you send your offer over to the seller. Say, Mr. Seller, here's my offer to you. My offer is $55,000 as a sale price, a down payment of $5,000, and the balance of $50,000 in monthly payments. And that would break down to $208 a month for 240 months. And down here at the bottom, 240 months, no interest. So every time I make a terms offer to a seller, the very first offer is always no interest. And you would not believe how many times people would accept that. So let's jump on Bankrate.com here. We're going to take a look at this, what this would look like. So here we are. Just hover over the mortgages here, slide down the mortgage calculator, click on that, and then this window pops up. And this is a real-time mortgage calculator here, and it's free to use. It's actually really cool to play with. So $50,000 there. Typed in my term of 240 months. And then right here in this tab, they won't let you put 0% interest. There has to be a number there. So let's go 0.001 just to make them happy. And then let's click calculate. And then there it is, 208.35. So you can see just in a few seconds, you can actually amortize payments. And then if you scroll down here, let's see here. Show the amortization table. Now this would show exactly what the payments would look like going over to that borrower and show you the balance reduction here. So you can see, you can scroll this all the way down and you can set the mortgage date and all that. So this date on the side really doesn't matter. But this is just to show you what the principal and interest is paying. And on that small of interest, that's not even a penny yet. It's a fraction, it's a fourth. So that's why I put that .001, because I always structure offers with no interest. So it shows the pay down here, what these payments would do over time. So very quickly you can calculate these. So let's jump back over here, and we're going to look at a different example. So this is the same purchase price, same house. So this is just a different way to structure a deal. So obviously you see here my offer to the seller went down in price right here. So whenever I go up in payment, my price goes down. So whenever I'm closer to their actual sale price, my payment is smaller. So let's say they wanted interest and I countered back to them. So this is what my counter would be. So the offer to the seller is $52,000, but I'm going to offer them $10,000 down and the balance of $42,000 in monthly payments here. So that'd be $200.51 a month for 360 months at 4% interest. And believe it or not, this 4% interest yields quite a bit of return on there. So you can see I shifted the term from 240 months to 360 months just so I can keep this payment around $200. So let's take a look at that on the mortgage calculator, see how that pops up. So here we are, $42,000, 30-year term, which is 360 months at 4% interest. So there's a monthly payment. So you can see how quickly you can just jump over here and put those in. So let's look at the amortization schedule. So right here at 4% interest, $140 a month goes to interest, $60 a month goes to the payment. So this is exactly why my first offer is always, 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 always no interest. And then when we sell properties, I like to take that interest rate up really high. So, because that maximizes my profits. And you can see in this table right here, you can see the interest adding up over time. So this is the interest that you're paying your seller on that offer. So you can see it compounding every single month. It grows and grows and grows and grows and grows and grows, while your principal is slowly coming down. So you come down here at the end of the table, the end of 30 years, and we're going to pay $30,000 in interest in addition to the balance of $42,000. So that's quite a large amount of money. And that's what's so powerful about making offers with no interest. So let's look at this from a different example. So here's another example of a terms offer, but I actually did both sides of the equation here, because whenever I'm running numbers on when I make offers, I always have an idea of what my second transaction is going to be. And especially if I get something under contract, I get these numbers down immediately. So here's an example here. So bottom line is you're just trying to put a spread on each deal. You're not trying to knock a home run on every deal. So for example here, there's an ugly house listed for $45,000, and my offer to the seller is $35,000. We're going to take this property as is because we're not going to do anything in repair. $5,000 down and the balance of $30,000 in monthly payments of $125.01 for 240 months. Okay? So this is the first side of the transaction. This is the A side of the transaction. So let's assume the offer gets accepted, and this is what the terms are for the first offer. So we're going to jump right down here to the second transaction. And my target sale price to the buyer is going to be $45,000 with a $10,000 down payment and the balance of $35,000 and monthly payments of $314.90 at 9% interest for 240 months. And you know what? A lot of investors would take this deal because this is $35,000 they do not have to come up with. And investors don't mind paying a little bit more in interest because it gets the deal done and it gets their payment low. So let's say, for example, this property, rented for $900 a month. So that investor would be bringing in $900 a month. He'd pay his taxes and his insurance, and then he would have a spread between $314 and $900 a month minus his taxes and insurance. So let's take a look at the ammo tables and see how they come up. So right here, the first transaction, I'm going to ask the seller to finance $30,000 for me for 240 months, no interest. So I have a payment of $125.01 going out a month. So when you're running these amortization schedules, it's very, very easy to make this number change quickly. So if the seller says, "Oh, I can't accept $125 a month," you just simply ask them, what was the least you could accept? Let's say they said $175 a month. So you can come over here. So let's say 260 months. All right, so that brought the payment down. So we need to shorten the term. So let's say 220 months. So right there, that brought it up to 136.38. Let's try it at 180 months. So you can see very quickly how you can get that payment to come up just by altering one number on your term, which is the shorter the term, the higher the payment. The longer the term, the lower the payment. So let's just go back to 240 months here. That's our original example. And then on the second transaction, here we are. Sold it for $45,000. They're going to give us $10,000 down. And then we're going to finance the balance of $35,000 at 20 years. at an interest rate of 9% at $314.90. So let's look to see what this 9% interest will do on a $35,000 loan. So right here you see the balance. This is the interest paid. So on their very first payment, $52 goes to the principal, which is here, and $262 goes into the interest. So let's scroll down to the bottom here, and you can see how powerful adding interest to the second transaction can just explode your profits. That's what's so powerful about this strategy. So $40,000 in addition to the $34,000 that was the amount that you financed. So you can see very, very quickly how powerful interest is. So that's why it's so important on every offer you make, you start with 0 interest. So down here on the bottom, the down payment that we would receive from this transaction would be $5,000 a month and $189 in net cash flow. That's the difference between what's going out the door to the seller here at $125.01 and what's coming in from our buyer right here at $314.90. This is a net number. You do not pay taxes and insurance on top of this because your buyer pays taxes and insurance on top of that. And with this interest rate right here, you can see how powerful this little bitty deal turned into. And that's what's so wonderful about this strategy, is there are tons of properties sitting on the market right here. So just going to those sellers and just making them an offer that's attractive to them, and then turning around and selling it on terms that's flexible to someone that will take over the property and do the work themselves is so much more powerful on the second transaction. That's what I love about this strategy, and that's what you're going to be doing. And just to show you how easy it is to amortize these payments, it's very, very simple. So on terms offers, the agreements that are needed for these types of deals, if you're working with private sellers, you can literally write everything up on just a purchase and sale agreement. If you're working with agents on the MLS and you're making offers through them, then they're going to ask you to, probably fill out a seller financing addendum. That's no big deal. If the property's older, if it's an old property, 76 or earlier, they're going to have to, you're going to fill out a lead-based paint addendum. And if you're working with private sellers and you just fill this out and send it to your title company, the title company will ask you to get these signed at closing. It's not a big deal. But here, if you're working the MLS properties, they're going to be asking for proof of funds, and then also copies of your earnest money check. And we kind of went over that already. And look, guys, you can find all these docs in your resource center, and then also you can go to your state commission website, type in your state and real estate commission, and all these documents will pop up, and you can go to addendums and contracts and addendums and print those off right online. So here in Texas, this is the website that I use, that I print documents out when I use them. I like to use the state approved contracts because we're working with a lot of lenders. We're working with institutional buyers that are buying our notes, and they want to see that we're doing everything proper. So we're using state approved contracts. But in the beginning, I used my own private seller purchase and sale agreements. It doesn't matter. You can actually fill something out on a piece of paper as long as both parties agree to it and you bind it with a consideration of $1. You can make it 10 cents. It could be a penny. It doesn't matter. As long as there's a consideration made and it's signed on it, that is a binding agreement. So don't get too wrapped up in the documents. If you keep it simple, then you'll have success a lot faster. So I hope this really helps you out, just to take the fear away from making offers on properties. You don't have to have massive spreads. You just have to get offers over to sellers. So guys, I'll see you on the next video.